Welcome back to Seen It Before. We're probably going to say something stupid about your favorite movie because we've seen it all before. I'm Danny.
I'm Dan. It's Grogu.
That's Grogu, and we have a guest today.
And we have a guest. Oh no, Grogu's dead. All right, we got John back. He's here for our roundup episode.
He only wanted to do Roadhouse.
I wanted to do
a full episode.
I wanted a whole episode of Roadhouse, but you said no. So
Hey, absolutely,
You know what?
absolutely not.
Absolutely,
We're not
that's on you.
Absolutely not.
It's totally worth the whole episode.
Absolutely not. There's not much that happens in that movie.
There's tons of stuff that happens.
There's Conor McGregor being all like...
And that's he's in it for like 20 minutes. Not even. He's barely in the movie.
We'll get into all the greatness of that movie.
But yes, this is our 2024 roundup for the first half of the year. We got 6 movies we're going to talk about. Technically, a few others that are honorable mentions. So let's start with those in just a minute. But first, let's get to it. Butthole.
You didn't say it.
You didn't say it.
I didn't know that's what we were doing.
You
Okay.
just said all in unison, 3, 2, 1.
One more time.
I didn't know what we're doing.
3, 2, 1. Butthole. He couldn't even say it.
It's too good.
All right, so our 2024 roundup episode. We got 6 movies. We got 2 honorable mentions. Let's start with those. So let's start with Immaculate.
Trash.
So,
Straight trash.
Yeah, I just saw... And the fact that... what's it called? The Omen, the first Omen came out like a week after it. Mm-hmm. And like I didn't see that one, but I heard it was way better.
I mean, I'm kind of over horror, or at least this new gen horror in general, because it's all the same, like Immaculate especially. So like the whole plot is, you know, this random nun comes to this new church and then somehow gets pregnant. They're like, oh my God, it's the next coming of Christ. Turns out it's not.
It's just some weird fucking alien research baby.
Yeah. Well, that was one of the biggest plot holes. But like, this is another one of those classic stereotypes where it's like, all right, silence, jump scare.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm so over that style of horror because it doesn't work anymore.
well, I kind of like that Sydney Sweeney was a producer on this movie, and she's wanted to do this movie for about 10 years now, which she would have been like, what, 15 when that would have been a thing? So, like, that would have been weird if she was starting that when she was 15.
But the thing is, it's we've seen it before. Like it's Rosemary's Baby with just add a coven or add a.
It's an acting movie. I think it's more of an acting role for Sydney Sweeney. It's trying to get her more exposure. I think that's the main.
Her?
That was Sydney Sweeney. Yeah.
See, that's the thing. It didn't really.
I didn't even
don't
realize.
think it really helped her out.
Maybe I would have liked that movie more if I knew.
She's known more for
Euphoria.
Well, Euphoria. And then what's the other one with the?
Oh God, Madam Web.
She's
in that too.
Yeah.
She's starting off hot, I guess. But no, like I don't know. There are so many plot holes. So like for me, it's like, all right, can you really consider it like a miracle when you did like several science experiments to make her pregnant? Mm-hmm. Like that's not really. You did it. Like you did it.
It's a miracle.
Yeah, it's a miracle. No,
wait,
man.
so wait, hold on. You're proving that science?
Exactly.
Oh.
Yeah, right. But you had that, and then you had like, why would you not just pick one of your like devoted followers? Because you had one.
Yeah, the one bitch was like,
she was willing to kill someone to do it, and then meanwhile now you have a random nun who's like killing your other nuns because she wants to leave. Why not just use one of the ones?
Like they didn't even say that like the girl was like infertile or anything.
Right.
It's just like we don't want you.
Yeah, right.
Like,
Yeah, get out of here, nerd. You're not Sydney Sweeney. Get out of here. Yeah. But then you also have like the other nun that was like Gwen. That's like, oh, she's not seeing a doctor. Something's wrong. It's like, Gwen, we've probably gone through this 5 times. Where have you been? Like, why do you care now, all of us? Right. Like, unless she's
There's been so many others.
Right?
Like the one girl in the beginning.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's like, how are you just speaking up now? So that movie was complete, also, new gen horror movie trash.
What happened? All right, so the girl in the beginning. I only saw this movie once in theaters.
That's all we've seen.
Yeah, I don't want to watch it again.
No,
but
you don't.
What happened? Okay, so there's like this whole like group of nuns that like take the one girl,
Gwen, like the friend.
They're like in the opening.
Oh yeah.
Like she gets caught in the fence or whatever. They all like come out with like Michael Myers.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're all like in formation.
Well, it's probably
where they didn't go any. Like where'd they go?
She probably died.
No, where are the nuns? She never came back because in the climax it's just the one dude chasing her in the tunnels.
Yeah, I don't know where those nuns.
Where the fuck
well, to be fair, Sydney Sweeney did like dome 15 other nuns.
That's
like
true.
She straight took across the one. She bit another one's
What
like
was the fat one, right? That she like stabbed in the head.
Yeah, she stabbed one in the head. So maybe the Padres armed forces the nun Secret Service was all taken out by this one pregnant lady. I don't know.
The nun Secret Service.
That's what it is.
Yo, that's like, it's like Passion of the Christ 2. Crucify this.
Yes.
Oh my God.
That's the Secret Service.
That's the first of two Family Guy references we're going to have today.
There's really nothing about it that stands out.
Yeah.
Sydney Sweeney is in it.
She's pretty good.
I wouldn't say it's her best work, but like she's okay.
Still keep
that last scene is pretty fucking good.
Yeah,
the ending.
The whole ending with her screaming.
It's just I feel like it's just a movie made out of spite. It's just meant to piss off a certain group of people.
Yeah, for sure.
And but and it wasn't even original. Like, that's the thing. So yeah, I agree, like 50, 55.
Yeah.
Jeez, you've never given anything that low. You're just agreeing with him.
No, I gave Wrinkle in Time a 30. Don't forget.
I mean, my thing.
I'm gonna give it a 66 with -1.6. Get it? Because 666. Get it? Okay. All right. Anyway,
This is your guy.
this is my.
your guy. All
This
right.
is. Hey, I'm your guy too.
Damn it.
Shit.
Damn it. They got me again.
Let's get to our next movie, which I'm going to talk about.
What the?
In a Violent Nature. So this movie, it's literally a serial killer from the perspective, or it's a slasher from the perspective of the serial killer. It's a lot of walking. You're following this guy in third person for a lot of the movie, which it's slow. There's one kill in particular that's really well done. So the slasher, there's this blonde on a cliffside, and he's comes up behind her. I'm pretty sure he stabs her with a hook through the. Or no, sorry. He punches through her stomach.
With the hook?
No, he just punches through. He just literally punches through her stomach.
Yeah, just the round part.
Literally punches through her stomach.
Okay.
Turns her around, puts a hook in her head, turns her back around, and pulls her head through that hole in her stomach. And you see him grab the. Yeah, it's gross.
And like a Mortal Kombat fatality.
And you see him like rearrange his grip a few times because he has to like pull really hard. And
Jesus.
it's gross.
But
it was dope as hell.
I saw the trailer and it reminded me of Zodiac.
Yeah.
The one kill where he kills the couple out on like the lake or whatever.
Yeah.
It seemed like that, where it's just like kind of like just chill and like there's no like music behind it. It seemed like that kind of movie because he just kind of like walks, he's like, "Hey, how you doing? I'm here to kill you."
Yeah, no, there's a ranger station that he goes to at some point, and there's no rangers there. That's how he gets his mask and his hooks, because they're all on display at the ranger station. He's woken up because there's an amulet that's around this like pipe that's belonged to his mother.
Oh God. Okay.
So some dumb kid takes it. He's like, "Oh, I'll take this." And then that pipe that's there, apparently he's breathing out of it, and then he comes up out of the.
What?
He comes up out of the grave, basically.
Does it make sense in the movie? Because the way you described it, it sounds atrocious. No.
No.
Not at all.
It's a Shudder movie, so what do you expect? Anyway.
Yeah, well, I saw it's an A24 movie, right?
Shudder.
Or Shudder. Okay, well, those are definitely hit or miss.
I was about to say we're going to talk about
another one as well.
That's actually really good by
What's the other
Shudder.
one?
Yeah, the other one, we'll talk about it.
I
Anyway.
forgot.
Oh my God. That one.
Oh, see, yes. Sometimes you have that one.
Yes. Yeah.
Which is good.
Yes.
Or you have.
All right.
Yeah.
Now let's get to the meat and potatoes here. So let's start with.
What do you give?
Oh yeah, you're right. This one, 72.
You got to change your ratings, dude. 70?
72.
Your boyfriends are getting into trouble.
What the hell were you?
Let's start with the newest movie that has come out, The Bikeriders. We all just saw that this week.
Yeah.
Yes.
So let's
liked
get
it.
into that.
I thought it was good. As I get to it.
I was expecting Sons of Anarchy.
That's what
in the 60s.
Well, we weren't expecting Jodie Comer to be the main character either.
Yeah, no.
She wasn't really in the promotional material. So
Austin Butler. I almost said Austin Powers. Austin Butler is he's the guy now, right? He's fake
He is the
Ralph,
guy. He is the guy.
Elvis, and he's so mysterious in this movie.
That's the thing
he's that guy.
That's the thing that annoyed me. I mean, granted, maybe in context because it's all what's her name? Kathy's.
Oh yeah, Kathy. Yeah.
So it's all Kathy retelling the story. So like she's painting him in this great light, but it's like in the first scene when she goes to the bike club, it's like a bunch of scraggly looking, degenerate looking, and then you see this model by the pool table, doesn't smoldering, just smoldering. Like, huh? I love everyone had a nail on Chicago accent except for him. He still
He's got the Elvis voice.
He still has the Elvis voice.
You want to go somewhere?
Yeah.
Get a drink.
I was like, God forbid the actor tried. Did a little.
It's hard to get rid of that Elvis accent. He still had it in Dune too. So I mean,
No, I think he's just
at one point.
I think he's just
knife chip shattered.
not that good of an actor. I think he got one accent and stayed with it. I don't think he's that good.
yeah. And then there's Tom Hardy.
That's
Tom
hot
Hardy.
take.
I like how he got his accent from a Marlon Brando movie. He was just watching a Marlon Brando movie randomly.
That's what I love about the whole
Yeah.
thing. It's just like because like I was expecting Sons of Anarchy in the 50s or the 60s, and then
Yeah.
it's actually how it kind of turns into that because it's just
Yeah.
some guys have a midlife crisis.
Pretty
And
much.
it's like,
Yeah.
I just want to have a club with my boys
Pretty
and just
much.
go there and drink, and then it's just all of a sudden like they have like these fake rules that they live by, right?
Mm.
But everyone is in on the joke except for these new kids who are coming back from Vietnam are all fucked
Right.
up with PTSD.
Well, that's why I thought the movie was really good because it kind of like touched on how gang mentality, how that works. Because all these clubs, all these gangs, they all start from a decent spot of like, hey, we're all just hanging out. Hey, this is a place where we can all, be ourselves. We're all a group of, rejects or whatever. We're all hanging out together.
Yeah.
And then it just slowly becomes into like this, oh, now we're selling drugs. Oh, now we're selling guns. Oh, we're doing all this extra stuff. So it just sort of, it shows how it
on the span of-
evolves
yeah.
to like a snowball effect to a huge fucking shit pile, which I thought was really good. I mean, I kind of said it was like, especially I like the opening scene.
Yeah.
It really, the movie gives off like Goodfellas meets.
It does.
literally like
Very
Sons of
good
Anarchy.
fellas.
Like, I've always been in trouble ever since I met with Jimmy.
Ever since I met Benny, I've
Benny,
always
yeah.
been in trouble. He's always going
It's
to
like
the
the freeze
job.
frame with the shovel and
Yeah, as he just sliced the guy's face. I mean, I think that
It's knocked out by a shovel and then
Yeah.
broke it. Oh, that ankle. Oh my
the shot
God.
of the ankle right
Ooh.
before
Yeah, right?
you get like the impact of it.
Oh
like,
yeah.
and
I
then
mean,
it
I
cuts.
think that was probably that whole like scene was probably made the movie because you have the beginning and the opening where he gets attacked for refusing to put down his colors. But what I thought was like really powerful was afterwards, Johnny gets all the guys, they show up to the bar, burn it down, and they're like, "Hey, we gotta go." And you just see like firefighters and cops standing on the sidelines.
they're
He's like,
afraid of
"No,
us."
we don't." He's
Yeah.
like, "No, we don't actually."
Yeah.
Like that was like, "Oh fuck."
Yeah.
So I thought that was good.
Yeah, no, I agree.
What'd
with that.
what'd you think of the ending? Like, were you surprised by
By
Johnny's death?
I was.
I
Not.
was like-
Spoilers.
We know.
I was a little like confused as to where he was at because like I feel like because like what you just said he's like, oh yeah, like he's like jumps to like he's like, oh, Johnny went crazy, burns down a bar, which first of all I thought it wasn't the bar owner's fault. You
No.
know?
Doesn't
Well,
matter.
whatever.
Yeah, so
whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, overall, I think it was a very good piece. You know,
Representing
just
biker gangs very well
Yeah.
from that era.
But that's the thing. I really, like some movies are like, oh, we're set in like the 80s. And it's like, it clearly isn't. Like, you get that feel. It's like you're pretending to be in the 80s. Between all like the muscle cars and all the old Harleys, like, I thought the setting was very
Yeah, the set
believable.
design was really well done.
I felt like it was in the 60s.
Yeah, like it was like toned down. Like, you know, I always think back to like X-Men Apocalypse. Like they're like, oh, we're in the 80s, so
Yeah,
everyone
yeah.
has the big hair, has the big neon clothes, the shoulder pads.
Exactly.
You know, it's like that's not all the 80s was.
Right. That's
not
the
that I lived
that's
it,
the
but like
stereotype 80s that like
Yeah.
Hollywood portrays.
like Stranger Things is probably closer because I've seen pictures from my parents. Like there's like that's what it kind of looked like.
right.
But yeah, this one is just like it's toned down. Like you have guys and just like period accurate.
Right.
It's not flashy. You know.
It's not fucking Grease.
yeah. With the,
Hey.
Yeah.
I wanted
Yeah.
one guy to take a comb out. That would have been awesome. But like, yeah, like again, that's a perfect example of like it being like super like dramatized. Like, hey, we're in the 50s.
Yeah.
Rather than yeah.
you hear like some doo-wops on the radio.
I wanted one guy. I wanted Johnny to just start doing this shit. We got a knife fight.
knife fight. But yeah, the only thing I'd say like really kind of detracted from me was the it felt like a different person's movie like every half hour.
Yeah.
We're following Austin Butler. He's like, oh, you can't let him take my foot. I want to keep riding. And
Yeah,
then,
but I think it's still from the perspective of Jodie Comer. I think it's still her movie.
yeah, but then there's entire scenes where like
Yeah, no,
it's just Johnny and the gang. Like,
Yeah,
there's no- You know what I mean?
It's the editing style, I think. I don't know.
It's just like I would have liked more of a through line, or for it to be more balanced, because it just felt like every half hour was just a different person's movie.
Yeah, I can see that.
Like the last act was definitely Johnny's, because like he's dying, obviously.
Right.
Yeah.
And Jody's like, yeah, we have our fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think all the acting was really well done, despite Austin Butler. He was fine. There's nothing wrong with his performance, but it's just
Where's the hate coming from?
It's not that I hate him. It's the fact that the guy does the same, no matter what movie he's in, he's the same. I'm too cool. I'm smoldering. Like, buddy, do a little, hey, you betcha once in a while. You're in Chicago, buddy. Come on. If Tom Hardy can give an accent, you can
Well,
give an
Tom Hardy shouldn't do accents,
I'm
first
just
of all.
surprised I
But
can actually understand Tom Hardy in this one.
yeah.
Exactly. That's the accent.
Like, he's saying
You can hear it.
audible words.
Yeah. Again, I'm going to take it with a grain of salt, be like, oh, this is Kathy's character and how she views Benny.
Yeah.
Because it's all from...
And how she views Johnny as well.
Right. So for all we know, in reality, reality. I don't know.
Well, it's also based off a book, so I mean,
yeah.
this whole movie. So
That's crazy though. What happened to this guy to make him so fucked up? Where like he like, because even his wife, the closest person to him, still thinks he's like a cold, just nothing guy. You know what I mean? He's like, I've only seen him cry once.
I did like that though. I did like how that whole character arc
Yeah,
came
yeah,
to
'cause
be.
with Johnny's
Because
death
after,
and-
when Benny heard about Johnny's death, I was expecting like a one like
yeah,
tier
they
Denzel style.
they set it up earlier in the movie because
Right,
like
it was a good setup
with
and
her
it paid
father.
off.
So
Yeah, no, I mean,
Yeah.
like I said, maybe if he just gave a Chicago accent. It might be a pet peeve.
I had
But,
fun watching
that opening. Scene,
I had fun watching it,
that
too.
opening scene. I laughed out loud because again, she's like going into this bar, a bunch of grimy dudes, fucking grease stains, beers down to here,
Fucking golden
and then
oil
she's
there.
like, "Who's that?" And it's just him standing there like modeling. Yeah, I was like, "Get out of
cool.
here!" Yeah, he's flexing like his triceps are squeezing so hard. I was like, "Bro, get the fuck out of here!" I would love to just for them to cut. Like it's someone else telling a story, and you see Benny as like some fucking squirrely, fucking like disgusting animal. Like, oh, that's what he really
Like,
looked
you
like.
smell like shit. Bro.
Exactly, yeah.
Well, there's that actual picture at the end of the movie where he's like matching that. So that's what he looked like in the actual.
Yeah, I did like how they
life.
showed the actual photos and everything. But
I wanted to see who Johnny was. I think I saw one picture that might be him.
I wasn't really paying attention like that because I was like, all right, we got.
we just gotta leave.
But
Yeah.
like, so on a second go through, I'll actually like look at the photos.
Yeah.
But you know,
But no, that movie was on my list since like December, like because I saw like a poster for it. I'm like, that looks fucking
oh
cool.
no, it was
yeah,
good.
it's supposed to come out in like November. But what do you guys give it?
I'm gonna give it like
I believe I gave it an 80. I gave it an 83.
I was gonna give it an 85. So
well, I gave it 3.5 stars on Letterboxd.
that'd probably be like an 80.
80, yeah, 80.
Yeah.
I thought 3.5 stars was like a 70.
It was just
No.
established. It was
Okay,
Three
the way my ranking system goes,
I don't like the stars.
God damn it.
you don't need to do the stars. That's why we do
You
numbers.
guys get mad when I do like the Dave Portnoy like fucking 8.4. You're like, no, it's an 84.
And that's just me. That's just me. Moving on to another stoic figure.
Guy's got a knife under his shirt. You just take a big step back and pop me in the face. You can do it.
To Roadhouse. So, so Jake
Let's
Gyllenhaal.
get into it.
Oh my god!
I gotta understand why everyone
All right,
like this movie.
he's
the only
obsessed with
person
Jake
I know is
Gyllenhaal. Jake Gyllenhaal can do no wrong. That's all you need to know.
Like, which he's been in bad movies.
Okay.
He's been believe me.
Okay, let's not get
And he's been bad in bad movies.
No, he's been
I don't know where the
great.
fuck that's coming from.
He's been great in every movie. Every movie he's been great.
All right, so yeah, you go ahead, start off.
So this movie, they sort of switched it up, which I like.
They more a murder,
because
a
Roadhouse.
mystery type thing. They made it more of like a mystery thriller type thing.
Yeah, that was kind of a side plot. I wasn't.
Yeah.
I
the
wasn't
guy
feeling.
in the road.
No, so original Roadhouse, you know, Patrick Swayze's character is just a famous bouncer that like is known across the world, which I think is kind of silly.
For beating the shit out of guys in bars.
Pretty not being shit out of, but like reforming bars from being like
John
dive
Taffer?
bars. Yeah, kind of, but like going.
It's like Bar Rescue, but with a
it's kind of
bouncer.
like Bar Rescue with a bouncer, which should be a good show. But so I thought that was silly. Like, oh, this one guy is known across all of U.S. for just being a good bouncer. I think that's silly. Whereas this was a guy who pretty much like a nomad. Like he is a former UFC fighter, quit the UFC, and now he just kind of goes from like dive bar to dive bar, just showing up getting money to fight people. Half the time they wouldn't even, like, the opening scene is with Post Malone. He recognizes, hey, that's the guy who killed someone in the octagon. I'm not going to fight him. And he's like, all right, good, cool, give me the money. I'm out of here. So, like, that was his scam. And then it just so happened someone was like, hey, I need you to come work at the bar. Would you be willing to do it? And he goes, all right, I guess. My car just broke down. So, like, I thought that was a refreshing take. Like,
Yeah.
my thing is about this movie, and the reason why this movie is good is because it knows where it comes from. It knows it comes from an 80s movie where, like, I think at one point he rips a guy's throat out. Like, it's cheesy. So they lean into the cheese.
They definitely do.
The camp. And, like, I mean, Conor McGregor's whole character, either Conor knew what he signed up for or they just paid him in cocaine. Probably both, honestly.
I mean, have you seen some of the interviews he had for this movie?
Crazy.
He's definitely on something.
I really like, I mean, working on this movie, man.
His teeth are just like, the whole time. Just sitting there, just crack jaws.
It's like, I need the.
He's like, I mean, the fight scenes, I think I need, like, my own graphic, like John's Combat Corner. This is all I talk about.
Yeah.
But so overall, I think the fight scenes in general were probably like an 8 out of 10. Because, like,
Yeah, they're pretty well done.
the striking was good. You could tell, like, especially with the kicks and everything, Muay Thai was very involved. But then there was, like, some random stuff. Like, he grabbed the dude's shoulder and did, like, a takedown. And you just hear, like, a random bone crunching sound effect.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, he broke his arm. I've watched it, like, 3 times. I'm like,
How did
how? I'm like, how? You grabbed his shoulder. You did a shoulder lock. Like, I don't understand this.
He's just that good.
That's just how good it is.
That's how good Jake Gyllenhaal is.
I mean, like you said, at one moment, he's fighting people, and then the next moment he's like, all right, I'm going to give these guys a ride to the hospital. Like,
Yeah.
It just knew what movie it was. It
Hey,
knew,
how far is the nearest hospital?
All about respect.
it knew, like, not to take it seriously.
Shit out of these guys.
Yeah, it's just a fun movie.
It's just a fun movie.
Yeah.
It's just a fun summer movie. I would have liked to see what would happen if it actually went into theaters for a little bit.
Yeah.
Instead of just going straight.
That was the whole debate because Doug Liman directed, right?
Yes.
He actually didn't attend the premiere because he thought he signed a contract where they would release it in theaters at the same time at least. They just didn't.
Amazon.
So he protested his own movie. So
Like I said, I would be curious to see if it would have done as well because I think it did very well numbers wise. I don't know the exact numbers,
See
but
if I can find it.
I think it did pretty well. But
for streaming or just in general? Because
I think just in general, but I think that's also because it was so available via streaming. Whereas, like, if it came out at theaters first, I don't know. Me, like, I'm kind of over the theaters. Like, every time we go, something's going on. Like, such shit, like, etiquette. Like, even when we went to Bikeriders, someone answered a phone call behind us. Someone was on their phone, like, texting. At one point, they, like, snapped half of the beginning. I'm watching her snap the beginning.
this is such a good movie.
Right, exactly. So, I mean, like, it's like a whole hassle to go to the theater now. So I'd be interested to see if it did go to theaters, if it even got any of that money.
So it looks like it had 50 million viewers the first 2 weeks. That's pretty good for a streaming movie. You usually want to have it like 60 million or more usually, but it's an $85 million budget. That's expensive for that movie.
Yeah, that all went to Connor.
Yeah,
That all went to
probably.
Connor
And the cocaine.
Jake.
And the
That's
cocaine.
all that happened.
Yeah. But so it did decent, I think.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, the combat was very good. I'm just glad it finally beat the Hollywood rear naked trope. You guys ever heard of this?
No.
The guy's ass.
No.
You're naked. But
That's
what do you
the
want?
name of the. Okay.
Keep going.
So
Ignore him.
No. So have you watched UFC? Have you watched any fight when they choke from behind?
Yeah.
It's called the rear naked choke.
Yeah.
Don't ask me why. But in Hollywood, they always do this stupid thing where it's like if they're trying to choke them out, they'll come here and then they'll like grab their own head or they'll grab their bicep, which is stupid.
No, you're going against it.
Yeah.
Well, right. If the head's here, if you're keeping your hand at your bicep, they can grab their hand and break the grip. So in reality, you want to take your hand and bring it up to like your shoulder,
Yeah.
and then come here and like scissor motion, like
Yeah.
So every time I see that in Hollywood, it just takes me out of the movie. Like even in that fucking Rise of the Planet of the Apes movie, it was the classic like hand into the bicep, touching your own head. It's like okay, just reach over, break the grip. Okay, I'm good. Whereas like in this movie when they're fighting, again, just shows how good the choreography was. He actually fully like goes behind the guy's head and like scissors. So it was actually effective.
They have an actual fighter.
Exactly, and that's what
Yeah,
I'm saying. I'm
that's-
saying it's a breath of fresh air. I'm not
so he
saying
knows what he's
it's.
doing.
I'm not saying it's on the level of like John Wick.
Also, John Wick is like really accurate.
Yes, John Wick is
Yes.
very accurate, and just the way it's like edited and like shot, it's way better.
Well, it's from
'cause it-
stunt coordinators. He's a director. So,
yeah.
I mean, like,
Yeah, no, it was John Wick's like probably the best of the best. This was like good, but then like, so there were some errors, like I said, like the whole like random sound effect. You see a couple shots where instead of following through with the punch, they do the classic like Hollywood like stop at contact,
Right.
Like you're holding the punch back, or even just like the editing, like the way they would chop up the shots. I would have to rewind it because again, of course, I'm looking at it more thoroughly, but it didn't flow as well as like a John Wick or an Old Boy or something
no.
like that when they like pan back and like let the action play through.
Yep.
So I mean, overall, I think it's a good classic, campy summer blockbuster. I'd probably give it I'd give it an 80.
yeah, I'm going to give it probably close to like a 77, 78. Like, it's not quite a 3.5 star movie for me, but it's still better than most of the regular, 3-star movies. Yeah.
I give it 100.
Yep.
I think it's a perfect movie.
Okay.
guy gets
Hasn't
it.
even seen
Yeah,
it. Hasn't even seen
he
it.
gets
Jake
it.
Gyllenhaal's in it, and he's never been in a bad movie.
This
And
guy
he's
gets it.
Especially, he's never been bad in a bad movie. That's never
100%. This guy gets
Yeah.
it. Danny gets it. He understands the assignment.
All right, moving on to our next movie. Let's do
The real Agent Argyle.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Argyle. So
Yeah, what a disappointment.
that was it. Came out.
So trash.
Yeah, poor Henry Cavill.
Oh,
He can't catch a
That's
break.
what pissed me off. I thought it was a Henry Cavill John Cena spy film.
No.
Well, they
And then I watched it. I go, this is not it. Like
Bryce Dallas Howard's movie. Yeah,
such a waste of talent.
Yeah.
it was a good idea. It's a really good idea. It just was not executed very well.
Something happened.
Like, it's very disjointed, very clunky, especially for Matthew Vaughn. It's kind of weird.
I was gonna say, especially like the fight scenes. So Matthew
Yeah.
Vaughn did the Kingsman,
Kingsman
which
movies.
has some really good combat, as well as Kick-Ass, which also has some good combat scenes. I watched this. I was like,
what
I was
happened?
surprised. I was like, I didn't even know he directed it. I thought it was
Yeah.
someone else until like I think I was like looking at the credits and I saw him and I was like, there's no way, there's no way. So I don't know, it's just like, what did you guys think of like the reveal of like, no, you're the spy?
Yeah, that was dumb.
I rolled my eyes. I was like, get the fuck out of here.
She's
like a fucking sleeper agent
Yeah,
thing.
like,
Like,
a sleeper, like she had amnesia. I was like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Just between like
Yeah.
the waste of talent. I thought the plot was convoluted because like you had that twist, then you had the twist of like her parents weren't her parents; they were actually spies as well, but they were spies against each other.
Yep.
You were working.
It's like Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
Right. It was
But-
so. I just remember watching. I'm like, I think I checked out at one point. I was like,
Yeah,
this
it's a background movie, if anything.
And also, I didn't get too much chemistry from Sam Rockwell and Bryce Dallas Howard.
No.
Yeah.
I didn't feel
Sam Rockwell's giving it his all, and Bryce is. I think she's trying. They just don't vibe.
She's a better director.
Yeah.
She's definitely a better
I mean,
director.
I'm going to take it with a grain of salt, but everything she's done, I've loved in the Star Wars universe.
Yeah, she directs a lot of the Star Wars Mandalorian stuff.
Oh man, stuff.
Yeah.
What do you mean? You're like,
I mean, I haven't.
What do you mean?
Someone say?
I'm just not a fan.
Square
of the, I'm not a fan of the new stuff. What do you mean you don't like the new Star Wars?
Anyway,
Matthew Vaughn, he's known for being like a good director, especially because this is.
well, did he write?
technically?
He write the Kingsman movies as well?
I don't know. I don't think he did.
I'm
I
gonna
know-
check.
Well, it's based on a
he,
comic, so-
I know he assisted in the screenplay for Kick-Ass because they were writing the comics and the movie at the same time. So I know he assisted with that.
There's not much
okay.
he's written.
I don't like. I used to be like, like, oh, he did that, which was bad, so we can't, But then there's a guy like Craig Mazin.
Yeah,
who,
like guys, The Last of Us and Chernobyl.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
He can do that shit, but he also did Scary Movie 3.
That's what he started off at.
And like,
yeah,
so it can happen.
Yeah. You can get better.
You can be a genius. Nobody knows.
Hey, you gotta get paid somehow, right? You gotta,
Yeah,
you gotta
make
take
the-
some
you gotta pay
jobs
bills
to get
for
some
it.
money.
I just think like, I think the trailer fucked it over the most. 'Cause
Yeah.
When I saw the trailer, I thought it was spy thriller.
Because that's how they get people to the theaters.
Exactly. But then when you watch the movie, and you realize that's not that, now you're even more bitter. So automatically you're like biased to the rest of the movie because you're mad.
Well, I went into that knowing, because like the opening with Henry Cavill, he looks so stupid in like the whole thing. You know what I mean?
It's just Henry Cavill.
His haircut.
Why are you hitting him like
no,
that?
his haircut looks stupid. It was so clearly a
Why
parody
are you
of
hitting
James
his haircut
Bond.
like that, dog? Just roasted Henry
Bro
Cavill.
looked like
over there.
Tombstone from the Spider-Man cartoon. And then, but you know, but then they also do like, and like it was like the what's that one movie where it's like this lady, she lives on an island, and or no, she writes a story. She's like an agoraphobe.
Is that the one with Will Ferrell? Because there is a movie where like
Stranger Than Fiction.
Yeah. She's writing a book, and it's about like
No, it's like about a little girl and her dad or something. They're living on an island, and I guess she's real apparently. I don't know where I'm going with this. I
don't know where you're going with this either.
It was very much like that in the trailer. It's like, and then this happens. Oh, I don't know what happens next.
Yeah.
The whole, but I fell asleep. I fell asleep for
That's how good the movie
a
was.
good 20 minutes, and we were still like, I missed the whole scene with Sam Jackson.
Okay.
But like,
Yeah.
I knew he was in it. But then that's when he's like, "You're the spy."
So
You want to meet the real Argyle?
Yeah. So, but then
I'm
how
putting
does
a
she,
team together.
How
All
does
right.
she just remember though? Like, is it just like you're Argyle?
She's like
What?
she's like brainwashed. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure it says she's brainwashed. But like,
It'd be funny if she was like, "Oh, that's right. No wonder. Doy." Like, just leans into it.
God.
Oops.
Maybe if they did that, it could have gone a little better. They lean into the cheese. It could have been a little better, but I don't know.
But there were like so many like different like just like twists that were needless. Like I felt like the scene where like, you know, she's like, she activated her sleeper cell thing. She's like, she starts beating up Sam Rockwell. She's like, "No, you're not this. You know who you are. You know, you're Ellie, right? Or Rachel. You know, just don't stop beating me up." And then she's like, "I can't." And then it's like, "But I love you." And it just went on way too long. You know what I mean?
Like you said, the chemistry wasn't there. And speaking of that scene, like, can we talk about how shitty that cat was?
It was awful. Yeah.
Probably
Yeah,
like,
the CG
worst.
was
The
not
CG was
great.
just take the cat out. Like the CG was terrible.
Yeah.
Like,
That was them leaning into the cheese. It was the wrong place to lean into the cheese
No, I
with
don't
that.
think that was. I think that was this. They didn't. And
they ran out of time. Maybe
They ran out of time. They probably didn't have enough money in the budget to, or like, just take the cat out. Just
I don't
why was it
understand-
such a staple in the movie? Was this shit CGI cat?
So what I don't understand is why, like, because nobody was waiting for this movie, all right? I understand the Marvel movies being rushed because people are expecting them to come out. Nobody's waiting for this movie. Why are we in an age where we're making, like, movies are making record profits and, like, record, like, box office numbers and stuff, yet it's always a budgetary problem when it comes to CGI.
I agree.
Because everyone says it's time, but this one, for all we know, it could have been made for like, been waiting for like 4 or 5 years to make.
Yeah.
You could have refined, unless he's doing it on purpose.
I think it's also the big company. Like, what was this? Was this this wasn't Warner Brothers? What?
No, this
what production
was,
company?
This
made
was
this?
Legendary Pictures.
It was
Got Godzilla in the background.
It was
Spot on.
it was Apple. It was Apple.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Good job, Steve. Great job, Steve.
Steve.
Yeah.
I just, like I said, even if the cat was good CGI, it had a pivotal role. Like a lot of screen time, a lot of plot devices. I was like, I don't get it.
I remember listening to a podcast. Anyone know Chris Stuckman? He's like a really big movie YouTuber.
Yeah, I know him. You talked about him.
He's since lost his reputation because he's kind of coming off more like a shill, which is like because he wants to be a filmmaker, so he doesn't want to review any movies that he thinks are bad, because he doesn't want to say negative thoughts with people he might work with in the future.
How many subscribers does this guy have?
Like 2 million.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It would have been funny if you had like 300 people.
Oh, yeah.
Like, Hollywood's gonna know me real soon, guys.
Yeah, it's like the two guys are him and Jeremy Jahns. I like Jeremy Jahns a lot better now.
Yeah, I like Jeremy Jones too.
I've definitely followed Chris Stuckman before, but he's got a podcast where he interviewed Matthew Vaughn for this movie. And it's nothing but just like, oh, I really loved this, that about the movie. And then Matthew Vaughn, like, he's like stroking his own dick. He's like, oh, yeah, the cat was.
So he's a sellout.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
You're getting paid.
And it's like,
you might be getting paid to do it, just to promote it. So
Oh yeah.
Still.
so you get money.
Yeah, but
you
you have to
gotta.
disclose that. You can't just be like, hey, this movie's really good.
All right, let's move on from Argyle. What do you guys give it first of all?
I think you gave a 60, like a 60, like a 60. Yeah, like
You
a
gave
65.
that higher than Immaculate.
Yeah, I did. You know why?
God.
It's a little more fun than Immaculate.
Because Immaculate was just bland. It was just
Okay.
fucking
Okay.
nothingville. At least this, like, had Henry Cavill and John Cena doing something.
All right.
Like, I feel like, decent director. I wasn't like actively mad because I was actively mad watching Immaculate. I was like, this is stupid. Like this, I know exactly what's about to happen. Okay,
Yeah, it's very predictable, but
both bad. Both bad.
yeah, I think I'm gonna give it. I'm gonna give it worse than Immaculate. I'm gonna give it probably like a 60, straight up 60. So.
I don't know why we're comparing it to Immaculate.
Well, I'm just saying. But
Different
I'm just saying because that was the worst he gave. That was the worst one he gave before. So I was like, you like this more than Immaculate? That's what I was
I
getting.
guess
at.
technically, yeah.
X-Men First Class is probably my favorite Matthew Vaughn movie, and that's like a 9.
Oh, I didn't know he did X-Men too.
Nah.
All right.
Yeah, he
all right.
did First
He was
Class.
supposed to do The Last Stand, but then Bryan Singer's Brett Ratner. Oh no, something about like they gave Halle Berry a different script, and that pissed him off or something. Because she's like, I want a bigger role, and so they gave her a fake script.
Okay, Halle Berry. I actually kind of like that.
I just want an Oscar.
That's kind of funny.
I mean, to be fair, yeah,
You're
deserved.
sore, relax. Like, and Kevin Feige hasn't showed up yet. Calm
Yeah,
down.
right, it's like-
Calm down.
Like this isn't shit, but I don't know, like 68.
Okay. Yeah. So generally, not a good movie.
Disappointing to say the least.
All right, let's move on to another movie starting with A. Abigail.
She's fucking flying!
I watched this last night. Well, I watched this 2 days ago and then last night. I had to watch it in two spots. I liked this movie actually. Like I'm a big fan of the directors because they've done Scream 5 and 6 and Ready or Not. So they know how to do horror pretty well. But this was kind of more like a horror comedy. I'd say like a little bit of a horror comedy, but like they leaned into that cheese with the vampires. They really leaned into the cheese, and I loved it.
Yeah.
I loved when it was like that because what's her face? Catherine Newton got bit by Abigail. That was hilarious, and she was like, "Am I gonna turn into a vampire?
Oh,
You're
yeah.
going to the light."
Yeah, she was pretty cool.
Maybe.
and then they just explode. I was like, "Oh!" When they just explode when the stake through the heart, it was hilarious. Yeah.
I liked it too. This is something little. I know we love the guy. We all love him, and it's tragic that he died. But like, dude,
Oh, Angus Cloud.
That dude was slow.
I thought you were going to say Kevin Durant died. I was going to go,
No,
what?
no, Kevin Durant, MVP of the movie.
No.
I was sad to see him go, but no, like, dude, what's up with? He's just like, yeah, man, you gotta drive away. You know? Who's there?
I don't know.
Slow
I'm like, oh my god.
I don't know. I thought Dan Stevens was the MVP of the movie. I liked him
Yeah,
a
he
lot.
was pretty cool.
I liked him a lot. He was the other guy.
Which-
He was the bad guy at the end.
Okay, so
Bad guy vampire.
Oh, yeah.
Him.
you don't know what he looks like, but our friend Alex, he looks like Dan Stevens, right?
Oh, no.
He looks more like him than Phil Dunphy.
Yeah.
One thing annoyed me was in the very beginning, right when they get to the house, they have the whole scene of oh, you're like a wheelman, and she pretty much describes every character. The whole scene was no, you were definitely a former cop and blah blah blah. I have a skill, I can read people. That scene should have just taken it out of the movie entirely because we got it from subtextual clues.
Yeah.
Just at the very beginning, you got the vibe of what every person's role was.
Yeah.
And then at the end, when Abigail was the reason you guys are all here is because you guys fucked up some way or form with my father's organization. You were a cop on our payroll, da 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 da. It's yeah, we know. The other chick just fucking said it in the beginning of the movie. If you took that scene out, which again, is pretty stereotypical, especially in like heist movies. There's always like, you're this guy, you're that guy, you're this
the
guy.
wheelman was like the spy. It's like that's the only I only hear that word
Exactly.
in a heist movie.
So like if you took that scene out, the later scene, which was done better, would have been even like more powerful, but it was just repetitive.
Yeah.
And I don't know, like again, like you got a lot of it from like subtext clues, like the guy with the rifle, like clearly being a former military guy. So for you just to go up and be like, Semper Fi, and walk away, I was like, shut the fuck up. Shut up. Stop talking to me. Like you don't gotta spell it out. Like fucking the movie we reviewed way back when, Knock at the Cabin or whatever.
Knock at the Cabin, yeah.
Again, like Hollywood has this thing where it's like, oh, you're stupid. You don't know it's the Four Horsemen. We have to tell you it's the Four Horsemen. You don't know he's the wheelman. We gotta tell you he's the wheelman. At the very ending, when he tried to use the main character, I forget her name entirely. She was bland.
Joey.
Yes, Joey. Yes, thank you. When he tried to like mind control Joey, I was watching going, this isn't gonna work. She's gonna turn around and stab him. And sure enough, she turned around and stabbed him. So I was like, I feel like that kind of stuff could have been better. But overall, like I said, I think great cast. Phenomenal cast. And I think it was like they all kind of like worked really well together. Like you kind of
the chemistry was there.
The chemistry was there. So overall, I think it was a good movie.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's a solid. It's another solid movie from them. It's probably not better than Ready or Not. Ready or Not was definitely
That's great.
better put together.
My favorite part of that movie was the security doors that she thought like locked. It was just a video switcher, so she's like trying to like open and close the door, but it's like a little handle knob that you do to like transition a scene. I was like, that's a fucking. Like I can see that at work every day.
Yeah.
Like,
Basic ass bitch not knowing what the fuck this is.
It's like seeing the shit like the little like handheld lacrosse thing in Star Wars like hanging on the wall. It's like, oh, it's ancient traditional of this planet. But this movie only makes me really think of Scream though, and how disappointed I am.
No. It only makes me think of Ready or Not.
It's got Scream vibes where it's like, hey, this is a horror, but we're also laughing. Like it's kind of like that.
Yeah.
I did think probably what was the coolest scene was how they were going when Abigail did end up mind controlling the hacker girl. How they kind of like were doing that whole like ballet dance scene, and she was cutting.
Yeah.
They were
Yeah.
cutting.
Yeah,
back. I thought that was well done.
yeah.
That was well done. So I mean, that's just a little cherry on top.
Well, the girl who played Abigail.
She's really good.
Yeah, surprisingly, yeah.
What, 6, 7?
No,
She's
she's like, well, she's supposed to be playing a 12-year-old.
Yeah,
so I think she's probably around
that age.
Yeah.
So I mean, but still, better than some other actors.
Yeah, like it's not.
Yeah, she's one of the better
think
kid
it-
actors.
Is it that hard to find a child actor?
I mean,
I just saw the
it's-
ones who live, the Walking Dead. The kid that they got to play Rick and Michonne's kid. What the fuck? I mean,
They had a kid?
yeah, it was Rick Jr. Not Carl the Second or something.
That would have been funny.
It's hard to find kid actors because
Carl the
again.
Second. Carl 2.0.
it's hard to find kid actors because like they're in school most of the time, and you can only really film in the summers,
Yeah.
and they can only work for like 4 hours a day. So
They found they hit a home run. Every single kid on Stranger Things. There's no way.
And Carl from The Walking Dead.
that's why it takes so long for these seasons to come out.
No,
That-
okay.
No, you're right. You're right.
Well, that's why it takes so long for these to come out because they're kid actors and they can only work a certain amount of time.
Well, now they're 21. I don't know.
Yeah,
Well, that's always
what the
been,
fuck's taking
that's
so
always
long?
that's always been a thing.
Well, for writing probably,
Yeah.
and the writer's strike didn't help.
Well, they also would always hire. Well, like look at fucking Deep Cut. Remember that Disney show Hannah Montana?
Yeah, that one mega successful TV show that.
No,
It's
hear
like
me
when
out.
you think Disney Channel, that's the show. That little tiny.
No,
Yeah.
Sweet Life of Zack and Cody.
I agree.
One deck.
Oh, duh, seriously. No, but her brother, that actor's like,
Yeah,
he's like 40.
He was 40.
He was 40 filming it.
He was the same age as like John Cena when he showed up on the one
Yep.
episode.
Yeah.
Like, so that's kind of always
Playing
been a
an
thing.
18-year-old.
And looks it, which is weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm definitely gonna give it like an 81, probably. So
More Kevin Durant. More Kevin
Yeah,
Durant.
dude. After Kingdom,
90.
he's fucking like this.
This guy, it's,
this
his,
guy's awesome.
it's his time. It's
Yeah.
his time to shine.
I just thought, it's fucking Kimi. He's just a douchebag.
all right.
Do a movie with Kevin Durant and Conor McGregor. Instant Oscar. Instant Oscar. I'm saying it
Oh
right
my
now.
God.
Calling it out.
Oh my
I don't know
god.
about that one.
All right, moving on.
I've been right every time.
Moving on on to our other Shudder movie and continuing the horror train. Let's go to Late Night with the Devil.
Ooh, I like this one. This one was good.
This is another one I had on my list.
For a long
so
time.
long.
Although it had a little controversy around it with the AI photos they used in it. Yeah, so some of those montages, some of those photos were AI created.
What photos?
Like, you know, the montage they had in some of the scenes with like
the newsreels.
the newsreels, like
Oh,
the B-roll
like the
things.
intro, the
Some of
beginning?
those were
Okay.
some of those were AI. You don't know which ones, but some of them were. One of them was definitely very obviously AI, but like that's the only one I saw. So
And Hollywood.
They don't
we
want-
just been over. They're
Well-
using baby blood. God forbid.
well, the problem with AI
Hollywood.
is the problem with AI is that it could really affect the way movies are made because it takes away actors.
True,
It takes away
right,
actors out of the roles, and you know, it.
Oh no, what's August Butler gonna do without his Elvis voice? AI is gonna come in and do his Elvis voice. Oh no!
We're gonna bring back his like Disney Channel voice because he was on that.
Yeah,
little
he
show,
was on Hannah Montana.
that little tiny show on Disney Channel, Hannah Montana. You know that?
What?
Yeah,
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
he played her
That's how
boyfriend.
small it was.
He played her boyfriend in one of the episodes.
No!
Yeah.
He was just like,
Get the fuck out of here!
I like you, Hannah.
Did he also have an Elvis voice?
No.
No, he sounded like a little pipsqueak. You know, he just sounded like nothing.
Anyway, Late Night with the Devil.
See, I mean, this is so Late Night with the Devil. This is the kind of horror I like, where it's like suspenseful, like slow cook burn. Like it's kind of like if Twilight Zone did it in like an extended episode. Like at least the front half, the back half kind of.
Yeah, the first half is definitely better than the second
Back half kind of took me out of it.
Yeah.
I like that the whole vibe of it. Like they're filming it like it was airing. On,
Yeah, and then there's
live
behind
in
the scenes
70s.
stuff cut in. That was
Yep.
that was cool. It was good to see.
Yeah, it was like a and I like the effects. Yeah, the effects in the beginning.
Yes.
I think the effects there were good. Something happened towards the end. Like I mean, there's a few shots where I'm just thinking like they wouldn't get that shot on live TV. You know what I mean?
Like
Like
what?
the
Can you think
close up of the girl when she's like turning.
Yeah, with her eye there. Yeah.
Why wouldn't they have that? Again, I don't know.
They don't.
This is
if you're on a TV set, you have max 3 cameras.
So like the camera's not gonna really like go that
There's
tight
no-
unless.
Yeah, unless
like there's no dedicated camera for that.
Yeah.
and
No.
it's a live scenario
Right,
in
right.
in the context of the movie. I'm not saying.
Although
it's,
maybe
like,
there
much-
is, but like, it's rare that would happen.
Okay.
And-
Yeah, I don't know. And there's also a really wide shot at the end, which is impossible to get.
Well, I
Then
mean,
it moves. It goes from wide and moves in like on a dolly into the closer to him. That's an impossible shot.
yeah, yeah. Well, yeah, you can't think of it like that.
But
yeah.
David Dastmalchian, he was great in it.
Is that how you pronounce it?
I thought so.
I don't know how to pronounce his name, so yeah,
David,
yeah. So
he was good.
the kid was good too. She was really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, all the acting was solid, and the other guy that was over with his co-host guy.
Oh, the skeptic
yeah,
guy?
the skeptic guy.
yeah.
well, so that's I kind of like
Yeah.
because a lot of that stuff was going on during the 70s. So like
It was very Johnny Carson-esque.
yeah.
Jimmy Fallon, Johnny Carson, yeah,
Yeah.
Satanic
Who was it?
Panic.
Yeah, let me get the phone out of the shot here. Fucking Jesus Christ.
You're fine. I have it in all the time.
You know
it's
what?
fine.
Valid point. Come back up here. All right. Anyway, where to go?
Where to go?
It's right there. I can't see it, man.
Okay,
Oh, there it is.
I found it. Okay, so there were 2 things. So the girl's name Lucy.
Yeah.
So that was there was an actual book called Sybil. It was basically how it was like a person it was about bipolar.
Yeah, she had different personalities, right?
Yeah, but they portrayed it like because bipolar wasn't really like that big of a thing. So it was like, is she possessed by a
Yeah,
devil?
yeah.
All that stuff. So like having that in the movie was pretty cool. And then even the skeptic, that was based off a guy named James Randi, who would literally I don't know if he was offering $1 million in case he was proven wrong, but he would go from like place to place.
Yeah.
Like, oh, hey, no, you're using XYZ to make this effect or whatever. So, like, so the stuff they had in the movie was based in real life. So, you want to talk, like, I thought, like, again, talking about, like, setting and all that stuff, it was very believable.
Yeah,
And
they set it up very well.
Yeah, and they're doing very good to, like, reflect what was going on at the time, but not, like, shoehorning, like, hey, this is based off this thing and that happened at that time.
Based on a true story.
Yeah, right. Like it didn't didn't knock you over the head with it. So it was good that they kind of like spun off from it, but like you kind of knew where the origin was. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
But
That's what made it more real. That's what made the first half a lot better. But then when they started really leaning into that cheese stuff at the end, I was just like,
I just think they could have done it. So they did a whole scene where like Lucy changed into like a more demonic looking Lucy,
Yeah.
which is fine, whatever.
Yeah.
But then, okay, shit hits the fan. What was the demon's name? Mr. Wriggles?
yeah.
Mr. Wriggles fully takes over, and now she's like levitating, light shooting out of her face, lightning starts coming out of her hand. I was like, that's not the way to do that. Like, I feel like that completely took me out of it. I was like, this is supposed to be a demon, not a fucking whatever this is. Just shooting lightning at people. I was like, what the fuck is this?
Kind of like how they did. So you're expecting more something like along The Exorcist?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, how they showed that. I wasn't
Your
expecting.
mother sucks cocks in hell. Yeah. You're expecting more of that.
Oh, right. Line in the movie. I was about to say.
What?
Hey, whoa, hey.
No, she's a nice lady.
She is. She's a very nice lady. Yeah, I thought it was just a.
Everybody, yeah.
Where the fuck is everyone? I feel like that whole scene where she's like levitating, all that stuff. Also, again, CGI wasn't that good.
Yeah.
So
Hey, it doesn't need to be. It's a low budget.
Oh no, it's a low budget, but at the same, if that's the route you're going, it's kind of important to keep the audience
Interested. Yep.
not even interested. Just like as soon as that scene happened, I was automatically taken out of the movie. I was like, this is what the fuck is this? It's like if you're gonna go down that route, you might want to invest a little bit more time in making it look believable, so you're not destroying the illusion of the movie. But I mean, overall, like I thought, like the whole like hints of him being a part of a cult, and then like the reveal is he just did it all himself. Like I thought that, like I said, honestly, if you put that in black and white, I thought it would have been a Twilight Zone movie, which I thought was really cool.
I think
thought the overall story and like
Yeah.
again, like all the stuff behind the scenes, like I thought overall it was a pretty good like suspenseful like
thriller.
Yeah, not like horror.
I wouldn't say there's much horror, but there's horror elements. Yeah, it's more paranormal.
When they switched from the TV and they had like that trippy thing at the end, and they switched to like the actual, or like a actual cinema camera, widescreen, and he's like looking
Aspect
at the crowd.
ratio.
Yeah.
He's like go home or something like that, right? He's like, leave the show. I'm scared. And then he sees his dying wife. Like that was cool. I knew it was gonna go something like that because there was a whole thing in the beginning where like he shunned his wife or something while she had cancer, and then something about he like focused on a show instead, like wasn't there for her. So like obviously the guilt's gonna come back and everything.
Right.
So
Or like I was thinking more it was gonna be like she got cancer because of the cult. Like I thought the cult was gonna be a little more involved because it had such a heavy talk in the intro.
Yeah.
What would you call that intro? Like the
cold open or whatever.
Yeah, cold open where they're just like, oh, this famous guy, but he might be related to, Scientology.
Yeah.
Cough, cough, Scientology.
Yeah.
But like I thought the cult would have been like, she was the sacrifice or something like that. Like I feel like the cult could have been more involved because of how much they brought it up in the beginning. Like I said, it kind of had to pay off at the end because it kind of like alluded to this happened because of it.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like fully confirmed. But I mean, overall, I thought it was a good movie. I thought it was a little deviation from the classic, jump scare.
Yeah.
Bullshit.
Yeah, there wasn't too many jump scares. There was just, like, oh, that's creepy.
Yeah.
She ugly now.
Yeah.
Whoa.
I think I'm gonna give it a 78. It's probably a 78 for me.
I'm gonna do 83.
I gave it a flat 80.
Flat 80. Nice. Yeah, no, it's a good movie. It's good for a low budget. It's a good
How much was the budget?
A penny.
low.
Crazy.
It doesn't specify the budget, but it's it made 12 million worldwide, so it's pretty decent for it. Anyway,
Did it do a theater or did it just?
yep.
Oh, did it?
Yep.
I wasn't sure if it was just on Shudder, like
All right.
like a Netflix thing.
Yeah, I watched that
No.
on Shudder.
Moving
Same.
Yeah.
on to our last movie.
You're American, okay? Okay. What kind of American are you?
Civil War. This is the one that I was not excited for this movie
I
whatsoever.
boycotted this one.
I
bit?
did
Why?
at very first because like it's an election year. We don't need to be talking politics and movies and stuff like that. But like, I was just like, we don't need this. We don't need this year. The world's already divided enough. It's like, okay, we don't need this crap. But it was very surprising to me when I saw it. Like, it was a different type of movie. It's like it's seeing the world, this dystopian future or present day, I guess, through the eyes of photographers. So that was a cool twist that I didn't expect, honestly. Especially Kirsten Dunst. I didn't expect her character. Like, she was good. It's a different character for her. I've never seen her in this kind of role before.
Tobey Maguire didn't save her once. Crazy.
Toby didn't show up.
once.
She did not.
Scream one. I was
Not even
crazy.
when she died at the end.
There was a gunfight. I'm like, all right, it's pizza time. When's he coming in?
Yeah.
Shoot some webs,
I'm just
Spidey.
saying,
Where are you?
If Spider-Man was around,
Yeah.
I don't think we'd be
I
in
don't know
a
if this
civil
would
war.
happen. I don't know.
Because, if you mess with one of us, you mess with all of us.
Yeah.
Good old New York, baby.
Yeah. The cast all had really good chemistry in this movie as well. They all, and then the one thing I was like, that's the Stranger Things building. I was like, they filmed
I
at the
didn't even
Stranger
notice
Things
that.
building.
Is that the shootout with like the
shootout in the
pillars?
Yeah, that was the Stranger Things building. I was
That's
like,
cool.
I know that building. Yeah. Yeah. So
I really like not sound effects. Well, what's the word you use?
Sound design.
sound design.
Sound design, yes. Like in the very beginning, how like the bomber happened, and like you could have had like a lot of like chaos and all that, but like just straight silence.
So you can
I thought that like really like punched that scene in. So I like that. That was very good, and just like
Yeah, this movie's from Alex Garland, the guy who did Ex Machina, the guy that did what else did he do? Men. Oh,
He did Dread.
whoa, pause,
Yeah.
pause, dog. Say that again.
He's done
Men.
Men.
He's done men.
Yep.
Pause. Okay.
The movie, Men.
Whoa.
Whoa.
It's 2024.
That's crazy.
No, I don't understand. I think so. The main criticism of this movie is that it has nothing to say.
Yeah.
But like, again, that's
can see
why
that.
I didn't want to watch it, because I was scared that not scared, but like it's just irresponsible, I think, to drop a movie about a modern civil war during a time when we're
Divided
getting
enough.
closer to it.
Yeah.
It's like, this is what we're in for, But I'm glad at least it wasn't really political. Ironically, like they didn't explain any
Nick
reasoning.
Offerman was the president. That was hilarious.
I did like
Yeah.
Nick Offerman.
That was just like, we're about to, kill them.
so
We're about to
stupid.
advance on them. The alliance is.
Yeah, I mean,
failing.
first of all, Texas and California would never align.
Right. So that's the thing that.
That's why
That's why they did
obviously
it. Yeah.
clearly strategic that they did
Yeah.
that.
See, that's why I was kind of like, and I kind of get some of the controversy. Like, I'm not saying pick a fucking side, but like,
Have a reason. For
don't be
what the
neutral.
fighting-
Because like,
Yeah.
like why were we fighting? Why is Texas and California aligned? Like two
Well-
polar opposite. Not even even if you take politics out of it, strategically, California, Texas.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have like so many states in between.
Right,
that
and
you
like
need
so
to-
like tell me like why did this alliance form? How did it form? You don't have to go again.
Yeah.
It kind of annoyed me that they were staying so new. Now I'm sure, obviously, devil's advocate. If it was like a full like political like
I was expecting it to just be totally
super
one-sided.
politic. Yeah, so
No.
I get why they wanted to stay neutral, but like don't be fucking.
Well, that's why they tell it through the photographers. That's how they keep it neutral.
Yeah,
Because
but
photographers are mostly neutral. They're just trying to get.
Yeah. Also,
all-
if I was like
so-
fighting on either side of that, I would be so pissed off at these photographers.
same.
Yeah,
You know,
getting right in there.
Like,
yeah,
oh,
yeah.
Can you move over? Okay, thanks.
Yeah,
mean, that's-
especially at the
yeah,
end.
especially at the
I
end.
would, like, get
I
the
was like,
fuck
oh,
out of
no.
dude. Get the fuck out of here.
I wanted to beat the crap out of that girl. We're following Kirsten Dunst. She's doing this whole thing. She's being this badass. She's going through all this shit with all her friends dying and stuff. And she's like, she saves this stupid idiot who's like, I need to get this shot. It wasn't even anything important. It was just a guy
It was a
down a
hallway.
hallway.
Yeah.
And like aiming a gun at her. Like, oh, it's dramatic. Yeah. You fucking, she's gonna fucking.
Granted, I'm not.
And they leave her at the end. They're like the guy like Pablo comes in. He's
Escobar,
like
he showed up. That's crazy.
Yeah, I'm totally.
Well, it's the guy who plays him.
Oh yeah, you're right.
He's
I liked him a lot in this movie.
yeah, he was real good. But he's just like, oh no, there's something happened over here.
And let's talk about that Jesse Plemons scene because
Yeah.
holy
That was
fuck!
the best
good.
scene, yeah.
Holy
So good.
fuck. What kind of American are you? It's like, oh,
I like how he just kind of stayed calm.
yeah,
Like he could have, you could have
Yeah.
easily gone in the direction of like he's getting amped up, like da 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 da, like what American? Oh, you're Chinese. Like he
Yeah,
could have
yeah.
fucking
It was like, ooh.
spazzed out. But the fact that he was just like, Oh, you're from Hong Kong? Cool.
Bang.
Yeah, see, that's
Like, that shit was just ice. Like,
not to blame the guy. He's kind of an idiot, right?
what, saying he's from
The Hong Kong guy, he's an idiot, right?
Well,
okay, so like,
what else are you supposed to say? When you're in a when you're in a fucking situation like that, what else are you gonna fucking say?
Any American state.
Well,
literally, I'm from Missouri.
Yeah, that's the problem. that's the point they're trying to get. That's the point they're trying to
Well, I
get
also
across.
think they do touch on like adrenaline because, like,
Yeah.
at one point the kid, I say kid, she's probably like in her 20s, whatever.
Yeah, Kaylee Spaney. Yeah, she's
Yes.
yeah.
So there was a scene where like she's just seeing a dude hanging out with like dead bodies. Like, yeah, they tried to shoot us, so we hung them or whatever. And then she was like, why didn't I take a fucking shot? Like, so I kind of in the same realm of like this guy's panicking because he sees like a dude with a gun. He's like, and he just thinks the first thing that comes. He's not thinking I need to lie. Again, maybe I'm just trying to.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm trying to help out the movie, but again,
Yeah.
I do think that scene was that scene,
that was the
the
movie.
trailer scene. That pretty much got everyone interested into it.
Yeah.
It's funny because Jesse Plemons and Kirsten Dunst are actually married too, which is funny.
Didn't something that he got like only like a few hours notice about this?
Yeah, because like the original actor dropped out, and then there's like, well, hey, Jesse's free.
Yeah.
You just eat a sandwich on set, like, huh?
Yeah, I can play a psychopath. I've done it plenty of times.
Plenty
before.
of
Let me just. All right.
Zones in. Well, I also like the wildfire scene.
Yeah, that was
I thought
really.
that was very
that was
beautifully
cool.
shot. That was really
Yeah.
cool.
Especially because that guy that's in everything. He had just gotten shot and was basically dying. So
Right, it was like-
yeah.
I just know him as Thufir Hawat from the Dune movies. He
Yeah,
wasn't in Dune Part 2. But
He's in a lot of movies. He's in like
Yeah.
everything, dude.
yeah.
He's
I don't know
a.
his name.
I gotta find it. But anyway, yeah, no, this movie was really well done.
I mean, it's
Whereas-
A24, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean,
Well,
It's the biggest budget movie.
They got a lot of flack for releasing like different AI posters about them.
They did, yes.
okay.
And it looked nothing like the actual like places because they said like New York, but during a civil war.
Stephen McKinley Henderson's his name.
I would have never.
Yeah.
Never gotten
Anyway.
that. Did you get?
Stephen McKinley Henderson the third, Sir, Sire. What?
But it looked nothing like there was like clear geographic, inconsistencies with like what is actually there. People were like, "I live here. That's not it."
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And it was like,
There's no one eating. Spidey's not swinging from the Empire. It's not New York. The Aki way. Just nonsense like that. I wish, like I said,
Bodega.
the bodega, bacon, egg, and cheese. Just nonsense.
with an orange drink.
I don't know. Like I said, I think if they actually kind of like went more into detail, just from like a story building, like a world building, on like maybe an event that caused this civil war. Or like,
Yeah.
well, they alluded to it like the president dropped nukes on people. Like they said that in the movie, but like
Well, I also felt like this. I was like, who am I rooting for? I was like, what side do we like? Again, you want to stay neutral, but I feel like it stayed so neutral it hindered the overall storytelling element of the movie.
it did and it didn't. I guess I don't know. There's
That's just me.
yeah, no, I see what you're saying.
Room
I
clearing
get
was
it.
pretty good at the end. The whole
like
John's combat corner. Well, I mean, honestly, it wasn't like the most thorough because you have the classic Hollywood thing where they're going into a room and they kind of just like do a little quick peek to the corner. They're not fully like turning into the corner, so like you could easily just stand in.
Yeah,
the
if there was
corner.
somebody there, like they're not ready.
Right. Yeah. So it was more of they were kind of doing it more down the like, hey, it's tactical, but not like tactical. So like they would go into a room, branch off a little bit to say that they did it, not fully like thorough, like that kind of stuff. Granted, it's an active gunfight, so they're not supposed to go like super slow.
Yeah.
But like the fact that in the one point where they went into like the press room and all four of them were standing a line against one wall, it's like no one kind of made that L shape or anything. Could have been a little bit better, but better than other Hollywood movies. It would have been
Yeah,
like
they'd
no
have one-
reloads, so just straight walking right through, stormtrooper shots. Like so, overall, I think it was better. It could have been better, but it was good.
What I'm kind of missing though is what was the point of the whole movie?
That's what I'm saying. Like,
That's exactly what he
did we
was
want
saying, yeah.
these guys to win? Did we not want them to win? Like,
Yep.
Because the ending shot is like them
It's supposed to be kind
killing
of.
off with the
It's ambiguous. Like it's not. I don't know.
like do you, like is it something? Because you brought up the point where it's like oh I didn't take a picture of these two guys dying.
yeah.
Like, is it she wants to lose her morals? Like,
Yeah, it's
I don't get it.
it's left up in the air.
But you know, and like I said,
her though.
just as like the fact that they were so okay with group of camera people just following them around.
Yeah,
like,
is that how it is? Like, I don't know.
That's why I'm not hitting it that hard because I don't know how that is. Like,
Yeah.
I know a lot of documentation was done during Vietnam, like photos and stuff, and like even now.
So I'm sure that is kind of how it's done, but like,
if
may not
there's
to that
if there's a
capacity.
full on.
Yeah, like you're not gonna go in like with the Osama bin Laden mission,
Right.
You're not gonna just have a guy with a camera there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, and at a certain point, like.
I think it depends on how like top secret the mission is. That might be how it is
I mean,
too.
again, so like, I mean, you know,
I'd say to kill the president, that's pretty top secret, right?
Not at this point though in the Civil
but like
War.
they're actively involving them. Like, all right, you're gonna move when I move. We're gonna have cover. All right, move. Like,
Yeah.
fuck you, guy. I gotta worry about
anything-
my people, dog.
If
Like,
anything, I would just like have like a body cam while I'm in the zone, and then you grab screenshots from that, right?
Right.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
after the fact.
yeah, like again, just from like great. You know, I'm not fucking, fucking captain, fucking,
Yeah.
Navy SEAL. I'm not. I'm nothing like that. So
Fine.
I'm nothing. I'm just a, fucking. I'm just Conor McGregor Call of Duty style over here. But just from like any kind of like, who are you? But how do I not know you're like working with the president and you're about
Yeah.
to dome me in the back of the head
Yeah.
the second I get like,
Yeah.
I would not be involving you in like my whole plan of like, all right, we're going this way, we're going to, like,
Yeah.
either get out of my way or you're gonna get shot. Like, and then that's what happened to one girl. She was like, let me go right down the fucking funnel of this doorway. No coverage, nothing. Let me get this shot. Bang, I'm dead.
That was the
Or
stupidest
Kristen covered for her, and now she's
Yep.
dead. So I think like again, I think like that kind of stuff like it took me out of it because I'm watching. I'm like, are they cool with this? I was like,
Yeah.
So that's why I was kind of like, but again, that could be how it is because I don't know.
don't know. We don't
But
know.
Just definitely was like weird.
So what are you gonna give
What are
it?
we doing here?
I gave it overall. I gave it like an 85 between all like
Yeah.
sound design and imagery, and there are a couple cool scenes. So I think I gave it an 85.
I'm a little lower on it. I think 80.
I was gonna agree with an 80 on that actually as well. Yeah, no, it's a solid movie. I don't know if I'm gonna go back to it though. Like it's not a lot of rewatchability in it.
Yeah.
There's more rewatchability in Bikeriders, I would say for sure. That's why that got a higher score for me. But it's still a good movie. Yeah.
I liked it,
Okay.
even though I admit I was wrong.
On Civil War, yeah.
Yeah, I was expecting it to just be like
Yeah, we were all
shit.
expecting it. So it's good that it kind of surprised us.
I mean, A24 doesn't miss, just like Jake Gyllenhaal doesn't miss in his movies.
A24 does miss because they did Men.
you sounded like a
Whoa.
They did Men, right? A24.
They did Men.
Yep.
Alice Garland misses. So does A24. There's a whole 20-minute sequence of Rory, whatever the fuck his name is, being born out of himself over and over. Is it? I think he
have
comes
not-
out of his butthole at one point.
I haven't seen nor
What?
heard of this movie, so
I don't want to
It's
know.
one of the worst movies.
really.
I don't want to know.
Like so bad it's funny or just bad?
No, it's just disturbingly bad. It's just so gross.
All right, we're Seen It Before. You can find us on Instagram and TikTok with the handle @SeenItBeforecast. That's SCENE it Beforecast, and on Twitter with the handle SIB_pod. I'm Dan.
I'm Danny. You can find me on Instagram at Danny_Wasp, my letterbox and serialized at DJ Wasp, or my YouTube channel, which is just Danny Wasp. I haven't posted that in a while.
No, you keep saying that.
while.
You keep saying that.
Although my Whiplash essay blew up.
Hey.
years ago, but it blew up.
Oh.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And John, you can't find him anywhere.
John,
I'm just here.
He's just
Watching
here.
you
Seen
find
it
him in
before.
John's battle.
And keep watching for John's Combat Corner.
If we keep having me for action.
And this is gonna be your
movies,
thing. Like if we have like a CG or something, it's gonna be John's Combat Corner.
Just a picture.
Just my face postered over Connor's head.
It just slides in, just like
We're gonna make this a thing. Next time you're on, we're gonna make that a thing.
black screen.
Listen,
It's gonna be
Cut out
perfect.
of it.
it's just a horrible cutout. Hey, John Wick 5, just slowly panning.
So So keep watching for our recaps of The Boys and House of the Dragon every week. Our next big movie we have, I believe, is Deadpool and Wolverine, because we're not going to be doing a lot of movies in the next couple weeks, just because there's not much coming out.
I've been doing TV for
we were
House of
gonna-
the Dragon and The Boys.
We were gonna do Inside Out, but like it's just like it was too much.
It made a shit ton of money.
It did. It beat over Dune 2 for the domestic box office. Nope.
We're talking about. Well, we went to the theater. It was actually like active.
Yeah, it was packed again.
And it was all like inside. You could tell they were all for Inside Out, but still.
Yeah. Anyway, so keep watching for The Boys. And
kids are playing the Fortnite.
Goddamn kids! Back in my day.
keep watching. We'll see you next time.